TomoNews presents, What Does the Research Say?
Gaming study says too much in-game GPS is bad for you. Next time you boot up your favorite first-person shooter, it may be wise to switch off the heads-up display or mini-map. Why? According to new research, too much in-game GPS could be bad for your brain. Participants in the video game study played games for between 2 and 4 hours, 3 times a week for up to 12 hours per week, resulting in 90 hours of gameplay time. The research looked at the effects of gameplay on the hippocampus and the caudate nucleus. The first is responsible for emotions, learning, and memory formation. The latter helps us form habits and routines. Routines such as when to eat, exercise, or get home from work, and how to reward yourself for your behavior, are stored in the caudate nucleus. The study found the hippocampus shrank after 90 hours of action and shooter gaming because players use their caudate nucleus more to play and navigate. However, the reverse was true for those playing 3D platform games. After 90 hours, researchers saw an increase in the gray matter in their hippocampi, and they were reportedly playing Super Mario games. The gist of it is this: in shooters and action games, players follow a map and are on a linear path, going from A to B. The study puts that too much of this is harmful for your brain. Super Mario, on the other hand, the researchers say, encourages you to remember landmarks and use spatial awareness and is good for the brain. And a bad hippocampus, they say, can result in depression and possibly even dementia. But University of Oxford professor Andrew Szybrilski points out that the study lacks statistical power and the framing of harm may mislead readers. He told the Mirror, the interpretation of harm, although attention-grabbing, was not peer-reviewed and appears to have been introduced afterwards. So basically, the study got published, then it was spun in a news release stating video games can harm brains. Newspapers saw that and thought, video games cause brain damage, yo! But the reality is that studies on gaming are inconclusive and mixed at best. For every study that says gaming is good for you, you'll find one that says it's bad. And speaking of studies, this team's work has been, as Villanova University psychology professor Patrick Markey tweets, debunked in the past for similar reasons. What's your take? Fire off below and let us know.
Study finds using tablets for bedtime reading wrecks your sleep. Using certain e-readers or tablets in bed late at night leads to poorer quality sleep, a recent study from Harvard Medical School found. The study found that blue light emitted by certain electronic devices lowers the production of melatonin, the hormone which regulates the body's sleep. During the study, those using e-readers and tablets instead of books took 1.5 hours longer to fall asleep. Their REM sleep, which is critical to memory consolidation, was also shortened. Despite having the same amount of sleep, those using light-emitting electronic readers felt groggier and more tired than those who read a book before bed. Scientists advise people to minimize the use of such devices before bedtime, especially in teenagers who need more sleep than adults.
Rate of e-cigarette poisoning in kids surges in the U.S. A study says the number of children poisoned by nicotine in e-cigarettes in the United States surged between 2013 and last year. Researchers attribute the huge rise in poisonings to the exponential growth in the popularity of e-cigarettes during the same period. According to a report, the number of children aged under 6 poisoned by e-cigarette products in the U.S. rose from 14 per month in January 2012 to 223 per month in April 2015. That's a rise of more than 1,500%. Analysis of calls to the National Poison Data System shows that more than 90% of children poisoned swallowed e-cigarette liquid. On average, a poison center in the U.S. receives a call every 3 hours about a child exposed to an e-cigarette or liquid nicotine. The study says that over a 40-month period, 17,500 children were exposed to cigarettes and 4,000 were exposed to e-cigarettes or liquid nicotine. Liquid nicotine is easily absorbed by the body and can harm the heart, circulation, gastrointestinal, and nervous systems. The use of e-cigarettes among U.S. adults doubled between 2010 and 2013, and it's estimated that 1 in 10 of us now vapes. The report's authors advise parents to keep e-cigarettes and refill products away from children, preferably locking the devices up. The researchers also urge parents not to use or refill e-cigarettes in front of their children. Researchers say forget flu shots, get inked to boost your immune system. Just kidding, sort of. A study published by researchers from the University of Alabama in early March suggests that receiving multiple tattoos could strengthen a person's immune system. In order to conduct their study, researchers obtained saliva samples from customers at local tattoo parlors. From the samples, the researchers measured levels of cortisol, a stress hormone that suppresses the immune response, and immunoglobulin A, an antibody that lines the mucous membranes throughout our bodies. The study found that stress from getting a first tattoo causes increased levels of cortisol. This then decreased the amount of immunoglobulin A in the body. Lowered concentrations of antibodies resulted in a weaker immune system. People with more tattoo experiences were found to have a smaller decrease in immunoglobulin A after getting tattoos, meaning that their body had adapted to higher stress levels. In short, the experience is comparable to getting vaccinated or working out for the first time in a long while. The first time is draining, but the pain lessens every subsequent time. Critics argue, however, that the study's sample size of 29 people was too small to represent the larger population. It should be noted, though, that the researchers aren't recommending getting tattoos for the sake of immunity. In fact, the first tattoo can make a person temporarily weaker and more susceptible to disease.
Crappy controls incite violence in video game players, not gore. The supposed link between video games and violent behavior by those playing them has been explored in a new study carried out by researchers from Oxford University in the UK and the University of Rochester in the US. Luddites of all stripes have long claimed without evidence that violent video games make children violent. But in the new study, published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, researchers tried to find out if factors other than on-screen gore were more determinant of aggressive behavior by players. To do this, the researchers took the very popular and highly modifiable game Half-Life 2 and screwed up the controls. They also made a modified version of the game with all the violence, shooting, and gore taken out. Then they split participants into two groups, but only taught half of them the new controls. Players who understood the controls didn't display aggressive behavior, whether they were playing the bloody version or not. While players who felt incompetent at the controls quickly became aggressive, proving that stupid, crappy controls are much more likely to incite violence than just seeing gore on screen. Given this new data, the creator of Cat Mario should be tried at The Hague for crimes against humanity. Damn stupid cat!
Study finds men who love spicy food have more testosterone. French researchers at the University of Grenoble have been working with 114 men ranging in age from 18 to 44 to study the relationship between the level of spice tolerance and the male hormone testosterone. Apparently, men who can tolerate and enjoy spicier foods have higher testosterone levels. How did they draw this conclusion? Well, testosterone levels were measured from saliva, and the men were given a plate of mashed potatoes and told to add spice to taste. Researchers found those who liked it hot had higher testosterone levels than their counterparts. Having higher levels of testosterone are believed to make men more adventurous, enterprising, and sexually active. On the flip side, high testosterone levels have also been linked to violent crime and sexual assaults.
Good news for coffee drinkers. A new study shows that coffee drinkers are likely to live longer than non-coffee drinkers. Data was sampled from more than 500,000 people across 10 European countries. According to the study, coffee drinkers are likely to be smokers, drinkers, and meat eaters. However, it also shows coffee drinkers have significantly lower mortality rates than non-coffee drinkers and lower risk of death from all causes. The study revealed that coffee drinkers appear to have healthier lives and better glucose control, which may improve their overall health. Researchers say they will try to determine the particular compound in coffee that offers such health benefits. In the meantime, they suggest drinking around 3 cups of coffee a day for good health.
Bad news for wives of men with big cojones. A new study from Emory University in Atlanta has linked testicle size directly to a man's fatherly instincts. The study, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, or PNAS, measured the testicles of 70 married men with young children. They also performed CAT scans while showing the men pictures of their children to determine any nurturing activity in the brain. It found that men with smaller testicles tend to have a more active role in parenting. while men with big balls, well, just acted like normal men. So there you have it, ladies. If you don't want to be left holding the baby, remember that old adage, size is important.
So, drinking is not all bad then, huh? A new study shows that drinking a glass of wine or beer several times a week may lower your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. The findings suggest that men who drank 14 alcoholic drinks a week had a 43% lower chance of developing type 2 diabetes than non-drinkers. Women who had 9 drinks a week had a 58% lower chance than non-drinkers. However, the findings show that hard liquor had no such effect on men and would increase the risk of diabetes for women, whereas wine appeared to provide benefits for both men and women. The research also highlights the importance of spacing out alcohol intake, because those who only drank once a week were associated with a higher risk than those who drank several times per week. U.S. health experts say they wouldn't recommend people increase their drinking based on this study. They say the study did not provide a proven explanation of any link between alcohol consumption and diabetes.